Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to Answering the Bell with Stormybman, our Sunday morning call-in show for this Sunday, January 18th, 2026. This is number 191 in the series of call-ins, as we took a break last week and come back this week with some conversation on the sport of boxing, news, reviews, what's on the horizon, breakdowns, and the overall opportunity just to chop it up with the call-in. So welcome everybody. I hope that you were able to be awakened in your right frame of mind this morning as we venture on in towards the end of January. We have a couple of more weeks left, and there are a couple of major cards that are on the horizon. We could talk a little bit about that, or if you guys got your own personal thoughts and feelings on certain things, let's have conversation. As the old saying is, conversation rules the nation. Yeah. There's a lot of things going on in our real world, outside of entertainment and sports and things of that nature. So sometimes it's nice to have a break from the stresses of everyday life. And that's why we have something like this, where we can, come together and just commune, and in good spirit, no negative stuff, just trying to enjoy. We are multi-streaming again across my channel of Stormybman and the Rumble app. I'm trying to encourage as many as possible to follow me over on Rumble, because over there we have a great opportunity to expound upon the content that is uploaded and with less restriction. So this is the only reason that I ask that you follow and join me over there, for no foolishness, We're there because we want to be able to bring the most quality of content that we can for our viewing and listening audiences. So it is important that we maintain that type of inspiration, to have foresight, to want to be better, to venture and do what we can to bring about the best of what we can. And that platform, Rumble, allows us to be able to do a lot of things. So if you haven't already signed up for the Rumble app, please sign up for Rumble and follow Stormybman over there, because we got a lot of stuff on the horizon. We just did our Beats with Sugar show this past Thursday. It was a success. A lot of people really enjoyed that, and Beats with Sugar is going to come back into the rotation of content. That's our music show where we review and pay homage to artists through all the genres of music. And it is a special place to be able to reminisce on some of your favorites and introducing some audience to what they haven't even heard before or whom they know not of. So again, that's what that's all about. So welcome, welcome, welcome everyone. Let me take a quick moment and see who we got in the building thus far. We got Del Riv out there. Columbia's back with us. Columbia, I'll have some Kung Fu film focus content coming soon, so just hold tight, okay? I know that you like your Kung Fu, so we're gonna have it. Black Jericho in the building. What's happening? Kamara the Stepping Razor back with us, and Ravens Nation is back saying the teacher is live. Appreciate you all coming out. Please smash the like button as you come into the building. Yeah. Talk about things. So yeah, we got this past weekend, man. Let me tell you something. There were a lot of fights on DAZN yesterday, and I just was like, oh my goodness, man. There was so much. But I needed a little bit of a break, you guys, because, you know, with my regular work schedule and things, it's like there's just going to be some content that I'm not able to cover. And shout out to the brothers and sisters of the community who kind of help fill those gaps. But even for them, I can tell that all of this boxing that DAZN is offering now is just, it's almost like information overload. They were once doing, prior to 2025, 170 to 180 cards annually. It's well over 200 now. That's so much boxing, people. It's so much. So you have to be able to make the distinction of what you're watching. You know, you save your space and time for the major cards that you want to invest in. You could take a peek here and there to the other cards where there are less known commodities out there, and then up and coming. And then Ring Magazine, which is broadcasting on DAZN, certain fare. You know, they've had their WBC World Championships fights over there where they showcase a lot of young talent. So there is so much boxing, man. It's like, you know what? Now I can push the plate back and say, I've had enough. My belly is full. Because that's how it is. They are really feeding us boxing matches, man. Big time. We got Julian Rombley in the building. Salute to you. Says, wonderful Sunday to everyone. Love and respect to everyone. Give thanks for Stormybman for the show. Appreciate it. Thank you, Julian Rumbly. First time seeing you out there. I don't know how long you've been hanging around, probably peeping through the blinds and bushes. And they probably called the landscapers out and trimmed all around you. So now your head is sticking up and you're like, oh, I better say something, huh? Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Step on out into that sunshine, brother. Step on out there. EJ, what's good with you? Salute to you over there on the Rumble app as well as in the main channel. Yeah. Yeah, Julian, you're going to have to learn if you ain't learned. Stormybman comes for everybody. Huh? So just put your seatbelt on when you're sitting in the chair in the classroom, huh? Because the ride might get a little bumpy, huh? And if you can't handle it, huh? We might have to switch you to another class, huh? And you know what that class is, huh? Oh, let me give you a little reminder. Yeah! You thought I forgot? No, the bus is right outside, huh? And if you can't hang in the Stormybman joint, we will seat you personally on that bus and you'll be well on your way to where you deserve to go. Yeah. Woo! Yeah, buddy. Y'all tell them, welcome Julian out there, huh? Make them feel at home, but let them know that wrenches do go upside people's heads, huh? That's why you gotta have that helmet. Yeah. Universal Truth, what's happening with you, bro? What's happening? Man, I tell you, being spontaneous and having to just come up with stuff for you guys for your entertainment, sometimes it's trying, but it's worth the while. I enjoy it. Salute to EJ over there on the Rumble app. Says, my favorite day week, answering the bell. I honestly didn't get to see any other fights this week. I was under the weather, but feeling a lot better today, though. Oh, that's good, man, that you're feeling better, brother. I'm hoping that you continue to turn that corner, because we need all our troops for the battle, EJ. We need all of you. You know what I'm saying? That's right. Salute to Mr. Shelton is out there in the building. Shoes off at the door, huh? Yeah. And we got Junior the Truth in the building this morning, coming in here, sniffing around. I kind of wonder what Junior looking for, huh? Because he kind of went in on Stormybman the other day. And I told him, you know, I'll have something for him, huh? But in my time, not your time, Junior. What's good with you, brother? Happy Sunday to you, huh? But just keep your helmet ready too, huh? Yeah! Mr. Shelton says, it's too cold to have my shoes off. No, see, Mr. Shelton, we ain't even gonna say that, huh? We you the one that put that out there that you don't wear shoes. Walking around to people's homes, they be like, dude, can you take them muddy shoes off before you come inside? I ain't wearing shoes. Man. Frankenfoot walking around in people's cribs. Yeah. Will Sinclair in the building. Yeah, what's good with you? The General, 78 Sports TV in the building this morning. He said Shelton got feet like a Zulu warrior. No, 78. His feet is made like Non, that Kryptonian dude from Superman 2. Remember that the 3 Kryptonians, the real tall dude? Remember them shoe boots he was wearing? That's Mr. Shelton's feet. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Woo! Man, I tell you. When the Brothers Johnson made that song Stomp, man, people was like, don't play that shit, Shelton is here. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. Good Sunday morning to everybody. I see y'all rolling in. Please smash the like button as you come into the building, man. Because we going to get ready to have some conversation today. Going to open it up. Have some discussion. You know. I tell you, man. Look at all them smiling faces out there. Y'all find that shit funny as I do, huh? Boy, I tell you. But see, he the one that said that, right? He opened that up for y'all who was there when that live was on and he was saying that. Man, I was like, okay, I'll forever keep that in the memory banks. Yeah, buddy. Junior says Shelton got them coon stampers, bro. Listen, yeah, why you think we keep them around? Get him, Shelton. Another one bites the dust. Joseph Townsend, what's good with you, brother? I see you out there. Oh. Man. What is good, everybody, man? It's good to see y'all this morning out there. We're going to open it up, man. Let's get to talking some boxing, huh? We got the call lines open. Now, if somebody want to call, that's great. But I can only take one at a time. I ain't got a party line of calls. So, but we could get through this, huh? We can get through it. Let's see what we got on the horizon, too. Make sure I put my... put this image up there. We got Teofimo and Shakur Stevenson coming up at the end of the month. And we can talk about that a little bit. You see, Atuma pulled out of his fight with Jermaine Franklin. They rescheduled it supposedly for March, but we'll see if that takes place. We'll see. How a guy who ain't, had no injuries or nothing up to this point, all of a sudden he pulling out of fights. I question that. I did a live on it. I talked about it on the Friday Night Chop session too. What's really going on with that dude? And that was supposed to be another one of those cards for the Magnificent Seven series, huh? Supposed to have a few good names on the undercard facing off. So the fact that they pulled that back, I don't like that at all. Don't like it at all. Yeah. We got Joe Gagliari in the building this morning. What's good with you, Joe? Oh, you didn't hear Black Jericho? You didn't hear that Atuma pulled out of the fight with an injury? They didn't even say what the injury was. They just, he got an injury. So when they do that kind of stuff, it's like, well, what's really going on? Huh? Yeah. But, that's something we could talk about, too. Because that guy he beat, that Dempsey McKean guy, he fought on the Tim Tszyu card a couple weeks ago. And Tim Tszyu was the main event, but he fought on that card. And he beat up some Samoan dude from Australia over there. He beat the crap out of that dude. And I was like, okay. But he laid down against Atuma in one round. I'm like, man, come on, man. This is some really, y'all gonna do this. Frank Warren, you really gonna do this? Psh, man. This is why, you gotta keep it tuned in to over here and the rest of the brothers and sisters out here as we do our content, because we keep you guys abreast on everything that's going on. We tell you. It's just a matter if you want to listen or not. If you over there listening to that other stuff, hey, I'm telling you, you're going to be sidetracked. Huh? That was me double checking the line, guys. The line is open, so feel free. Feel free. The line is open. Let's have some boxing conversation. Yeah, man, this guy ain't never shown that he was injured or anything before. And he gets up there and I'm telling you, they really pushing for him. They really pushing for him. They want him with one of those belts. That's why I feel they're going to strip Usyk of something. You just watch. Usyk going to end up with one belt and the damn undisputed title that he has, Ring Magazine belt. Because they don't want him to fight Wilder. And they don't want him to be unified. It's like they got an agenda, bro. And you hear the foolishness about David Benavidez. He wants to go up to challenge Zerto at cruiserweight. And then he says he wants to come right back down to light heavyweight and take on Bevo or whatever. Because, Bevo is unified champion. They let these guys play all these games, man. But they won't fight the dude that's right there in front of them. The guy that's been waiting for his shot and waiting for his shot. Why do Christian Mbili and Lester Martinez got to fight again when one of them should just get a title shot? I know it was a draw in their last fight and all of that. But both of those guys have been toiling in the division at 168. They need the title shot. Then there are other guys at 175 who've been waiting for their opportunity. Cruiserweight is a kind of division that is soiled by guys not stepping up to plate for Jai Opataya. And Jai Opataya, as good as he is, he's right there, but it's like nobody wants to fight the guy. He's got the Guillermo Rigondeaux problems. People are leaving the division, moving up to heavyweight and stuff, stalling their careers out, not fighting and everything. And Jai is looking around like, what's up? No, nobody want no smoke? Crazy, bro. PGH Big Dog, what's good with you, bro? Good Sunday morning to you. Glad to see the wrenches are handling the business. That's good stuff, especially for people that don't even come around and show me no love, huh? But gonna come in here and start mentioning, dropping other folks' names and stuff like that. You see that kind of foolishness? It doesn't stand here. Nope. You got to get the hell out of here. Yeah. So, lines is open, guys. This card that took place Friday, man, the Curiel Rocha card that turned into Curiel versus Pathin, because Alexis Rocha has some issues after the weigh-in on Thursday. He was hospitalized and so therefore had to pull out of the fight. And Pathin, who was on the undercard, the prelims, stepped up to the plate at 154 pounds and decided to fight and face Raul Curiel in the main event. Turned out to be a decent fight, but once again, what's going on with Rocha and the weigh-in and everything? These guys, you know what? They don't stay in shape, brother. And then they don't take care of themselves properly. And they think there's a quick fix and a quick way to get things done. This is why you run into these problems. You had Virgil Ortiz Jr. doing the same thing a few years ago when he was at welterweight. Kept getting sick and everything. Janibek passed out at a weigh-in a few fights ago, and the fight had to be canned. Listen, these guys do not take care of their bodies properly. And it's showing the lack of professionalism. I talk about it all the time. I talk about the coaches and trainers being shit. Because if you walk away from those guys, then that's, you don't have to worry about that. That's right, Junior. You can't turn it on and off. You can't. You got to be a dedicated guy. Boxing is the one, primarily only sport where you have to live, eat, drink, sleep, breathe your profession until you know more. And when you know more, you can live how you want. But this is the one sport you cannot burn candles at both ends. It is not going to work out for you. I don't care how talented you may be. I don't care how, big of a punch you have and all of that. It doesn't mean anything. Because it's a sport where not only do you work at your craft, but your body has to be in tune. It has to be a well-tuned machine. Okay, we got my brother Junior the Truth in the building calling this morning. What's good with you, Junior? How you feel, bro?
Man, I'm excited for this Bears game, bro. How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm good, man. Very good.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Good, man. That point that you just covered with regard to Roca and how these new athletes, man. It's mighty funny to me, man, that these new athletes are not taking the sport, their respective sports, because it's not just boxing, but they don't take their respective sports seriously enough to stay in shape year round. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so that's what we see, especially in the sport of boxing. And this is a behind the scenes things that people don't understand and don't know. But if I had to give it if I had to put a percentage on it, I would say probably about 75% of those injuries in camp that we had, where fights have to get postponed or they have to get canceled or whatever the case may be, is merely because the fighters out of shape. It's merely because they're out of shape, bro. Because they're out of shape and they're having trouble getting around to the weight.
Listen,
and what we also see is in some of those higher profile fights, when it's a higher profile person, what you'll see is you won't see a cancellation of the fight, but you'll see them adjust the weight during fight week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or, a couple of weeks out. But these dudes are not staying in shape year round, man. And you can't. That shit is dangerous, bro. Like, that is dangerous. Pardon my language. That is dangerous, bro.
No, you're right. And you see more injuries. And when I say injuries, I'm not talking like hurt hands or something. I'm talking about health injuries. Like, you'll see somebody have taken to the hospital, brain bleeds, and all of this stuff. Because, see, there's something that has transpired and it's kind of crept into the sport that was never, ever needed. All of these nutritionists and stuff like that, Junior, you don't need that. You really don't.
Nope.
But this is a chance for those who want to assist the sport with cheating to go along, because the so-called supplements and all of that kind of stuff, it's like, there's something. Do you remember the movie Deep Cover?
Yep.
Now, do you remember Jeff Goldblum's character and what he represented in there?
Vaguely.
Listen, I'm going to explain it. He was a drug dealer.
Right.
But he had an angle in with designer drugs. The designer drugs were just like the regular drugs, with the moving of certain molecules around by scientists that they had, that could still give you the effect of the drug of your choice, but not with failing a drug test or being charged with, he's taking cocaine. It has something similar to cocaine, but it's not cocaine, so they can't charge you with cocaine. You see what I'm saying? Victor Conte. Okay?
Same thing, yep.
Now, I'm not saying Victor Conte now, and R.I.P. to the man, but he knew and understood that kind of situation, which is why how he got started, that was what was going on. Now, there are others who have taken up the mantle. which is why you see so many fighters popping dirty and everything now. When Joseph Parker was found to have popped dirty after fighting Truck, it was interesting because they said cocaine.
Yep.
But he tried to say he didn't use cocaine. The thing he was saying about that is because allegedly, because it's like this. If it's a designer drug, it's not supposed to be what they're saying it is.
Yeah.
But you're still taking something. You're still
You're
taking something. The old fighters used to train, Junior and Chat. They used to, I mean, some of them will still take their shot of a drink or something. You know what I mean? Whiskey and whatever was they preferred, a beer or whatever. But they trained, they worked out, they ran their miles. They did their calisthenics, and they were in the gym working and sweating and stayed within fight weight, even when they weren't fighting. These guys today, they 30 pounds over their weight 2 weeks after a fight.
Yep.
What the hell is that?
Yep.
We could go back to same day fight weigh-ins with the way these guys are behaving now. Because remember, they took it away after the Dooku Kim fight with Boom Boom Mancini and a couple of other matches. They decided to change it 15 rounds to 12. And also the same day weigh-in was moved to the day before, so it would give you a chance to replenish and rehydrate. Because when you're extracting that final cut, the moisture and water that's supposed to be around your brain, if it's not there like it needs to be because of harsh weight cuts, you can suffer brain trauma. But instead of penalizing guys for not doing what they're supposed to do, they switch it up for everybody. And that doesn't, it's like you're punishing everybody instead of the people who are violating. Because you do have those who are strict with their diet and are dedicated and everything. And they should be rewarded, those fighters. Look at this guy, Stephen Fulton. At the presser for his fight against Oshaki, he looked like somebody's uncle, didn't he? Coming in there with his belly sticking over like Tracy Morgan or something. What was that?
Yep.
And still didn't make the weight. Still. And he had weeks. He got on with Andre Ward and Roy Jones and told them, man, I like to eat. I like to do this. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But you moved up a couple of weight classes already, and you still ain't making weight, brother. That's a lack of discipline.
Yep. And he's fresh out of real estate. There's nowhere else to go.
Not at all.
Nowhere else to go. If he goes up any higher than that, man, we're going to be seeing him getting stretched out.
We would have saw him get stretched out if in the fight with Oshaki, if he wasn't like in survival mode like he was, because he wasn't trying to win after a while. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
He should have employed that against Monster Inoue.
Anyway.
But he's over there trying to show his ass, and Inoue put his lights out. Oshaki was going to put his lights out, but you know what it was like? It was like, I can't let this dude knock me out. You know what I'm saying? It was like that kind of defiance or whatever. But you knew you didn't do the things you needed to do to be in shape, to be at your best and all of that. And we're supposed to still come back and after it's all wrapped up and be like, well, you know, that's all right, bro. You'll get him next time. No, go sit your ass down somewhere. I don't want to see you no more. Because you done show who you are. You've shown it. And people need to say that instead of, I don't care if he's from your hometown. I don't care if you in the gym with him all the time. I don't care if he go out with your cousin or whatever. I don't care. He's supposed to be a professional fighter. Behave like a professional fighter.
Yep.
Stop behaving like somebody's uncle.
Yep. Yeah, that's bad, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad. And I just think that whatever that is, man, that psychology of, you know, these athletes, I mean, it's the same thing, bro. And and if we look, and I'm a person that always, I like to look at sports in general. And when you look over the landscape, bro, of sports in general, look at Zion Williamson. You see what I'm saying? You look at Zion. You look at him, his ballooning up in weight and inability to control his weight. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You look at okay, it's countless football players, you know what I mean? Especially, the linemen. You understand what I'm saying? Because as a lineman, you have, a weight that you walk around at or whatever the case may be, and then you have a weight that you actually compete at. And so the balloon up in the off season, you know what I mean, just shows a tremendous lack of discipline and, your unwillingness to be prepared. It's the same thing with the sport of boxing, bro. And and for whatever reasons, we see it now more than ever. And I don't know what it is about the modern athletes. I don't know what it is about these new dudes. But I don't know why they won't continue to, I take that back. I know why.
Well, yeah, and part of it is the trainers, too. The trainers accepting so much that the old trainers didn't accept, Junior and Chat. Listen, there was another fight on this very card that got scratched. And it got scratched because Iriarte, who was supposed to be taking on a gentleman by the name of De Los Santos, and he came in 3 pounds overweight. And so the promoter and the network and whatever they were fighting on the zone, they was like, well, De Los Santos, do you want to still go through with the fight? We will, give you more money or whatever. And he was like, no. They's like, what if we double your purse? He said no. And he said that he talked to God. And God told him don't accept it. And so the fight got scratched. That was supposed to be the fight before before the co-main. And then you had this situation with the main. You see what I'm saying? So you had 2 fights on the night where you had a weight issue. That's too much, man. It's too much. And the fact that they offered this guy to double his purse. If you could double his purse to get him to fight a guy who wasn't disciplined enough to make the weight properly, could you not pay him more anyway?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? This is the corruption of the sport. But there's not enough people talking about it like they need to talk about it. It takes me to say these things to shine the light on it and make people say, oh, well, damn, I never thought of it that way. Yes! When somebody's life is on the line, you're supposed to think of it that way. I salute that kid, De Los Santos, who didn't go through with the fight, even though they wanted to double his purse and everything. And he said, no, God told me don't do it. And salute to that brother. Salute to him.
Yeah, that's tough, bro. That's tough. That's strong. That's strong. In this day and age, bro, that's strong. Because you figure he's prepared. He did everything he was supposed to do. He's gone through a camp. All of that stuff. The thing that we don't understand, a lot of people don't understand, is that shit costs money.
Yes.
Like when you do a training camp, that costs money. So he's spent money, and now he doesn't have a payday. You know what I'm saying? And it's as a result of no fault of his own. And for him to say that and to not go in there and to not, and to stand on principles, man, that's strong, man. Salute to him.
Yes, and guess what?
Salute to him.
I'm going to tell you something. There's another part to this that you need to pay attention to. Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia.
Yep.
You see? Now, it's been happening, but it happened at a high-profile fight, which Devin is a high-profile fighter. Ryan is a known fighter, has a name in the sport, not necessarily a good fighter, but has a name. And something very bad happened in that situation. So fighters now have the power to decline. If I've done everything I'm supposed to do and the other guy didn't, I don't have to go through with this.
Yeah.
He's the one in the wrong.
Yep.
How about this, Junior? How about this? How about this? When a fighter can't make weight, He could be the world champion. He could be a challenger for a championship, for a vacant title. He could be a challenger for a championship for the opponent that has the title. You don't make weight, it's a loss on your record.
Yep.
How about that?
Yep. Yep.
Let's open it all up.
Yep.
That shit'll stop so fast, you'll get whiplash from the halt. Huh?
Yep. Yep. And it's showing up to shake out a whole lot of this shit that we complain about in the sport of boxing.
Give him a loss.
Shake out a whole lot of stuff.
You got a guy that gets on the scale. He's cut weight. He's done everything he's got to do. And now he got to go back and rehydrate and get ready for the match and everything. And then you got a guy that's 3 pounds over. 3 pounds is a lot.
Yep. That's a lot. That's a lot of weight, bro.
Yeah.
That's a lot of weight, bro. That's a lot of weight. 2 pounds is a lot of weight. Three is, in my opinion, 3 is you didn't even try. You had at 3, if you come in 3 pounds overweight, you had no desire to make that weight.
Or we're so far overweight that your normal time that you take to do your cut and then get down to the week of the fight and everything and your final adjustments, you were off. And you were way off.
Yeah, enough.
And I don't think it's fair to people who, like I said, stay in shape even in between fights and everything. It is wrong for someone. And when I talked about it, in my other live, I said it's like you're in school, you studied, you did all your work and everything, and then you get your exam and maybe you end up with a B on the exam. But you got a guy who cheated, and then he gets an A, but he didn't put in any work. And when later they find out that he did cheat, instead of just failing him and booting him out, they say, well, you have to take a makeup or else we'll fail you, whatever. No, you need to take it straight away, because if he cheated this time, maybe he cheated in the past. And if you let him get away, he gonna cheat in the future. So you handle it with extreme prejudice. And when you do that, it sends a message to everybody. Some people may say, well, damn, Stormy is being harsh. The world is harsh, ain't it? When you step outside your door into this society, it will have you 8 ways from Sunday if you ain't got your stuff together. Huh?
Yep. The real world. The real world will. Not this fictitious make-believe stuff people live in. The real world will, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the real world. Yeah, the real world. The problem is, you know what I mean? And we see it all the time, every day. The problem is people live and they reside in this fictitious world, like social media. You know what I'm saying? Like YouTube and these spaces where you can come in and not show your face and say whatever you want to the people and not get punched in your face. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, everybody lives a lot of people live in a fictitious world, but the real world, like you said, will chew you up and spit you out. And it's funny that you said that, because I was going to, of what you said about school, because I was going to give you the example of my personal life. Like, I had to, one of the times I got into, and this ended in a fist fight, Stormy. This ended in a fist fight with one of my college teammates, a football teammate, because I studied and studied and studied and studied for a psychology exam, bro. I studied with one of the I had a study group, and one of the girls was a basketball player, a basketball player at the school, my homegirl, right? And Sandy, I was so disciplined that I would be studying with her in her room, Stormy, and we would literally be studying. Stormy, I wasn't hopping up and down on her, man, which was my preference. You feel me?
Right.
I wasn't in there hopping up and down. I was literally in there studying with her. And then I was going to the library and I was studying. And so we got to exam day, and my teammate literally sat next to me and thought that he was going to cheat off of me during the exam. And I wouldn't let him cheat off of me, bro.
No, that's right.
Because I was prepared. I literally was prepared, bro. Like I literally, everybody was going to party, everybody was kicking it, they smoking weed, they kick like everybody, and I was going to study. And so when it came time for the exam, I wouldn't let him cheat, and we fell out. You know what I mean? And we ended up squaring up. You know what I'm saying? As a result of it. But there ain't no way in the world I was gonna let you cheat. And it's the same thing. Somebody does everything that they're supposed to do, or do the things that they're supposed to do, and prepare correctly. You don't get the right. You don't automatically get entitled and get the right to be in the same plane with them.
Right.
And it's the same thing. If a fighter is prepared and they've made weight and they've gone through camp and they've stayed close and they're prepared, you don't get to balloon up in 30 pounds, and then when you put your body through whatever you put your body through and you can't make weight, you just get to throw a couple dollars at the situation and it's all good. Like, no, man, that's not that. That's not that. And to me personally, bro, and it's the stuff we talk about all the time on my platform, that's integrity, bro, or lack thereof, and that says something about you as a character.
Mm-hmm.
That says something about your character, bro.
Yeah, it
you know
does.
what I'm saying? Because we talk about like, even with, because we can liken this to real life. Like we talked about, I talked about, and we all got this, Stormy. You got them old men that used to work, and they might get off work and they might have a beer or they might drink liquor or whatever, and then the next day, what they do, Stormy?
They're back at
They
work.
got up and went to work, bro.
Yep.
They got up and went to work. Manual labor. You understand what I'm saying? Whether they was a farmer or a sharecropper or whatever we have in our family tree. Like those old men, they live by a code, and you have to show up and you go to work. You understand what I'm saying? You do the things that you need to do. And that's missing in this new generation. It ain't just the athletes either, bro. It's everybody. That's missing. But that's integrity, bro. You don't get to not do what you're supposed to do and think you at the same level, or you're automatically allowed to sit at the entitled. You're entitled to be in the same spaces as a person who's actually prepared. And that is one of the things that you just mentioned. That was one of the, I was really, really pissed off with Bill Haney about that. I was mad at Bill and Dev about that, because all cake ain't good cake, and I'm so glad that they came out of, because at that point in the career, they were still chasing the ghost of Tank Davis. They were chasing Tank Davis, which is why they went through with that fight anyway. And I was upset that they did that.
Right.
Because you were supposed to stand up, and you were supposed to make an example out of that situation. Just like we're setting the standard and all this other stuff. You feel me? You were supposed to set that standard. That kid wasn't prepared. You were supposed to fight the kid that ended up being on the undercard and let that be what it is.
Right. Right. That's right.
But you got to be prepared. You can't. You got to have some integrity and to take your butt in there to sign a contract, because I'm under the old law, Stormy. If you say you're gonna do something, bro, you got to do that.
Right.
You got to do that. Even if you got to do that, man. And if you sign a contract to say I'm gonna be at this weight on this date for this fight, you got to do that, or you are not who you say you are. You understand what I'm saying? And there's no manly shit in that. There's nothing manly about that.
And see, that's another thing where you said it's like the contract. If it's in the contract and somebody breaks the contract or breaches it or whatever, the terms, you need to exercise to the full extent of what your choices may be, to do that, so that you send the message that you ain't to be played with, and this is what it is. It's business. Will those promoters not do the same to you if you don't obligate what your responsibilities are?
They'll tear you up.
When Keyshawn Davis did what he did, Keyshawn Davis did what he did. I don't know if people have noticed this. Now, he's supposed to show up on this card coming up with Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo. But when was the last time he fought? When he had that match when he messed things up, right?
Yep.
But he used to fight a little more frequent than that, didn't he?
He did. Yep.
So that means that
3 times a year.
Yep.
At least.
So that means that they put him on the shelf for a minute and made him think about it. And probably fined him behind the scenes, because everything is not for public consumption. So there are things and ways that they can send a message to you to make you toe the line.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't
And
think
he's still in the hole.
I don't think he's learned his lesson yet, but
He hasn't.
that's his path to walk. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna have to prove me wrong going forward on every damn thing. But I don't care, you know, because he's not someone that I'm looking to anyway. But at the same time, I understand how this thing works, and he hasn't acknowledged his real problem yet. He can talk about, oh, I was drinking and I was doing this and doing that and whatever, but he ain't acknowledged what his real problem is yet. And until he does that and come face to face and grips with the honest truth and assessment of life, he can't start to rebuild. He can't. What he's doing now is just putting dirt on top of mud, huh? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And he got two problems. If you ask me, he got two problems. I agree 100%. I'm not sold on him. And I was excited about him. I was a huge supporter and champion of him. But in that whole thing in Virginia, bro, what he did to me was he gave me his backside to kiss.
Yep.
And I don't like that. I don't like it. You can't, as a man, you have one time. You got one time. And when you give me your backside to kiss, and then you run around here and you assume the role of a pompous jackwagon. I'm gonna say wagon instead of ASS because I cussed enough today on your platform. But when you are a pompous jackwagon, I don't have no holler for you because the sport is too much. You understand what I'm saying? We deal with too much. We have to, as black fans and black fighters, there's too much that we have to contend with. And when you get a situation where you're talking about, you got the support of Norfolk, Virginia, you got Michael Vick, you got Allen Iverson. Do you understand who these people are and what they mean to that region? And they're coming out and they're signing off on you, and then you go out and do that and not make weight. You understand what I'm saying? And then act like a jackwagon when your brother lose, and you, man, bro, he might not never be able to fight there again until he, as long as somebody else got to pay for it. He has to pay for his own car. But that's the first thing. Is the fact of the matter is he has no discipline. That's why the Bomac and the D&D Bronson situation don't work, because that is a no nonsense operation. You see what I'm saying? You say what you want to. That's a no nonsense operation. Brian Bomac McIntyre, bro, is old school. You understand what I'm saying? That's an old school, and that's a man. And it's a bunch of men running around here, bro. So this new stuff of, I don't got no daddy, DB3 ain't got no daddy, this is stuff that came out of his mouth. But daddy, we don't even know what a daddy is. Yeah, it shows. That's why you go to B&B Boxing and you don't fit. Just because his daddy's over there. You see what I'm saying? His father's over there. That's the first thing. And the second thing I'm going to tell you, bro, and ain't nobody gonna like this, and I hate to say it, but I'm gonna just say it straight, bro. I think he's scared of Andy Cruz.
Of course he is. Man, listen. Just like Shakur is scared of a lot of guys too. Have you ever heard a fighter?
We talking about Shakur. We talking about him. He's scared, bro.
Yeah. But what I'm saying, even me mentioning Shakur, listen. When you hear these guys say things like, well, boxers aren't afraid. You know, people like to say boxers are afraid, but boxers aren't afraid. That's why they get in the ring. They do what they do. Listen, boxers can be afraid too. Yeah, just like anyone else, brother. Just like anyone else. Let me tell you something. Shaq is what? 7 foot and almost 400 pounds, right? Mm-hmm. He afraid of something.
He's scared.
Yeah. And what he's probably afraid of, another man who might be 5'2" ain't nowhere near afraid of it. Do you understand? Yeah. So it's not about the size of the person that harbors the fear. It's the size of the fear that lurks within the person. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The real coaches and trainers will teach you this. Yeah. They will teach you this.
Scared, bro. Mm-hmm.
And he looking for all types of excuses and everything. But listen, Teddy Pendergrass had a wonderful song. You can't hide from yourself, 'cause everywhere you go, there you are.
There you are.
Huh? Dude, let me tell you something. You put that to that groove beat that he had, and it's one of the most real songs that you will ever hear in your life. Huh?
It is. It is.
Am I lying, Junior?
No, you ain't lying, bro. You ain't lying. Yeah. So them the issues I see. You gonna have, but you gotta exercise that ghost. And it's easy right now because Andy Cruz he's on the stairs. He's not taking the elevator. He's not taking the escalator. He's on the stairs. You understand what I'm saying? He's on the stairs. He's not going around attaching himself to people. He's not going around clout chasing, saying he's gonna go up to 147 and fight Dev Haney with no weight calls. He ain't doing that. He's just literally taking the stairs one by one. He's gonna get his little title shot. He's racking up his minor titles. He's getting better. He's down there in Philly training with Bobby Enos and them folks. He's just getting better. And he's on the steps. And Keyshawn Davis is afraid of him. I don't, I get a lot of flack for that. People gonna get mad at me and all that kind of stuff, but he's scared of Andy Cruz.
Listen, man, and Andy Cruz, let me tell you something. Ray Moritawa, I hope that he's trained well. If I'm not mistaken, he's being trained by Robert Garcia. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He better be ready, because not only is Cruz an Olympian, but I think he's kind of got the pro thing figured out now.
I think so.
And he is dangerous. Not only because of that Olympic background, but because of the teaching and everything that he's had and the hands-on experience and observation of, oh, this is how that goes. You understand? He's had that chance. His bouts have been spaced out, but each time you've seen him, there's been an improvement. He's now knocking people out. See, that they're not talking about that too much. If he goes in there and he deals with Moritawa like I think he truly can, Keyshawn definitely ain't facing him. Definitely.
He's not gonna face him.
But what he was saying, he just told a big fib on All the Smoke with Roy and Andre. He told them, if he goes out there and he knocks out Moritawa, then we gotta face each other. That's what he's saying on that show. Did you see that?
What he said. Yeah, I seen it. I seen it. And I'm telling you, man, Keyshawn, he man, and this is so bad because, like I told you, I don't like coming out here talking like this about these black fighters, man, because it's difficult enough. It's difficult enough. But he's told me, and all you have to do, like you say, watch boxing. All you got to do is listen when people talk, because they will tell you everything that you need to know, even if they don't say it. Even if they don't say it.
Yeah.
That's how powerful the English language is. A person will tell you everything you need to know, even if they don't say it, bro.
Yeah.
Even if they don't say it. And when you listen to that man talk and you listen to him, everything he's tough, he's a warrior, he's this, he's that, he's special, he's the best, he feel like he's the best ever, so on and so forth. And then when you say Andy Cruz, everything gets sideways. Now all of a sudden Andy Cruz got to do this, Andy Cruz got to do that. Nah, you and Andy Cruz already got a built-in storyline because he beat you 3 times in the amateurs. One time was your last amateur fight for a gold medal in the Olympics, bro. What do you mean? That's built in already. This is a fight we're supposed to get a trilogy in as pros. Y'all supposed to get a trilogy of that, bro. That's what boxing is, man. Like the greats, all of them had rivals. And you coming in the sport with a rival and you scared of him. And you just said it, bro. Andy Cruz has figured out the pro, but has figured out professional boxing, and Keyshawn Davis has not. And that's where we standing at right now, bro.
Yep.
And that's why he don't want to fight him. because Andy Cruz has figured out professional boxing and Keyshawn Davis has not. Has not. And that's why we ain't seen him fight in over a year. Because he ain't figured it out, bro. Yeah, man. But I'm going to tell you this, though. I'm going to tell you this. My big brother say, watch boxing. Y'all watch boxing. Watch boxing.
Yeah.
We got this Jermaine Ortiz fight. He done had a couple of them taken from him, bro. He done had a couple of them. He done had a couple of them snatched from him. He done got some bad decisions, bro. He done had. Watch this fight.
Yeah, and there's something fishy about it too, because it was originally supposed to be Ortiz and Hitchens, right? And it got switched to Keyshawn, and the Hitchens fight was a title fight for Ortiz. So something, he gave an interview. I think he was over there on Fight Hype or something. He gave an interview about it and talked about it a little bit, but it's interesting that he's now fighting a guy who's a former titleist instead of the guy who is presently a titleist on the same card.
Mm-hmm.
Something's fishy.
Mm-hmm.
They play these type of games with people who don't follow the sport. All I got to do is see which fight takes place first, whether it's Keyshawn and Ortiz, or if it's Hitchens, and who is that Hitchens is now fighting? I forget. He's fighting someone else on the card.
It's what's his name? It's this is why I got too much going on in my head.
Yeah, look it up real quick. Because it depends on which one of those fights takes place first, and then I'll be able to I will be able to figure out what they're doing.
It ain't. They don't even have it.
Duarte.
Is it even signed? I think they just in talks.
Kamara the Stepping Razor says Duarte. Is that Oscar Duarte?
Yeah, Duarte. Yep.
Oh. They wanted Oscar Duarte to be a world champion, right?
Mm-hmm.
They wanted that. And they were trying to get him in there over Ryan Garcia. And Garcia happened to get him. But Duarte is a guy that has favor. Hitchens better watch out.
Yep. Oscar Duarte versus Richardson Hitchens. Yep.
See? Oh, man.
Yep.
They play too much, man. They play too much.
Yep. They're about to get him out of here. Because he's another one that hasn't figured out professional boxing. He hasn't figured it out.
And he's a fool,
hasn't figured it out.
He's a fool.
Yep.
And with an open mic, he might say anything out of his mouth. And
anything.
Terrible. And you know who else was like that? The little dude that Rayo knocked out with the funny colored hair, the Crayola colored hair.
What's his name? Little B Hop.
Little B Hop, yeah.
Colbert.
Where he at
Chris
now?
Colbert.
Where he at? See, he was of that same ilk. He was of that same ilk, cut from the same cloth. They like to put you guys on blast when you're like that, because that's what they live for when they want to talk about you as a whole community of people. Those are your representatives, and you shouldn't accept that. That's why you shouldn't accept them.
Yep.
Am I lying, Junior?
Yep. That's the truth. That's the truth. And I'll leave it at that, man. I got a lot of more colorful language.
Yeah, absolutely.
To go with that. But it's you gotta be mindful, and I just think that at the end of the day, we have to have a code as a collective, and things that don't line up with the code should be ostracized, and we should be over here looking at that stuff. I don't know who he belongs to. I don't know what that is. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know what that is. Like, I have absolutely no idea. But just the mere fact of a man running around here with pink hair, like, bro, I don't know what that is.
And pink hair, and a loud mouth, huh? and not much to back up the loud mouth. You see, one thing that people misunderstood about Muhammad Ali is that Ali did a lot of talking, but part of that was because he wanted to, as in his words say, be a colorful fighter, one to draw the eyes of people on him for the sport and everything. But the other things that they got misconstrued about him was the fact that he could fight, and the depth of his character knew no bounds. That's a hard thing to emulate. That's why there hasn't been anyone able to do it, because you're talking about the resolve of a man, what's his fortitude, you see. And real coaches and trainers explain that to their subjects. They will put that at. Now, it's up to you whether you adopt the philosophy of it and try to apply it, but it should always be a part of the curriculum.
Right. Because it's a microcosm of life.
There you go. There you go.
Microcosm of life. Yes. I ain't gonna hold around them no more. I gotta get on and get busy.
You've been doing good, man. You've been doing good. Listen, Junior, I would rather have a talk with you on the whole show than to have people not call. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because some people feel intimidated to call, and I'm going to speak it because that's what it is. But to call so we can have a conversation. That's what the call-in show is all about, to be able to have a conversation about the sport. This is not about having confrontation. It's conversation about a sport that we love, and a sport that is hard to understand when you're a novice, when you are new to it, when you don't understand the ins and outs of it and everything. You know, when you talk about certain sports and they use the term Monday morning quarterbacks, right? The Monday morning quarterbacks who stand around the water cooler giving their thoughts on what they watched over the weekend or the night before or whatever. Listen, in boxing, you can't be a Monday morning quarterback. You can't, because if you do apply that to boxing, you can come across as very ignorant, because you don't understand the ins and outs of the sport of boxing. You see, we have barely scratched the surface of the subject of what we've been talking about, but the depths of that know no bounds, because, again, in order to get to the 5 dimensions of the sport, you have to go through each and every aspect of that. And most people can't get beyond one. That's why I laugh every time I listen to Frank Warren, the boxing promoter, who's promoted boxing for almost 50 years. I laugh at him when I hear him talk about upcoming charges that are in a part of his stable. And he's like, well, he's a good kid and he can really punch. That's like one of the first noteworthy things that Frank Warren says about his fighters. He can punch. He can punch. He can punch. Dude, there have been great punchers who got punched out. Just this morning. No, not this morning. It was late last night, because I stayed up late last night watching boxing. I watched Mike McCallum and Julian Jackson. Junior, and chat. That is 2 rounds of some of the best boxing you can watch. And the feed that I was able to watch, because I think the fight was on ABC, and calling the fight might have been Alex Walu and what was his name, the former football player, Dan Jiggets or something. I forget his name. The former football player, the big guy with the mustache. Anyway, it had no audio during the fight. You could hear the crowd and everything, but the announcers, that was like muted out or whatever for whatever reason, and I enjoyed it even more because I'm watching the action, right? And you can hear the sounds, the punches landing and everything. But Julian Jackson, if anybody has watched that man fight, he has knocked people out of their bodies, He can punch like the Dickens. But Mike McCallum, the Body Snatcher, as he was known by his nickname and the way that he was able to fight. At that time, in his corner were Lou Duva, Georgie Benton, and Tommy Brooks. Now, that's a hell of a lineup of trainers in your corner. I don't know if you guys know this, but this is one of the things. But in the opening round, the way the fight played out, Julian went right after him. The first punch he threw, he was trying to knock Mike McCallum into tomorrow. And McCallum had to get back, get himself together, get his defense set. And Julian was whiffing a lot of shots because he was trying to knock him out. He wasn't doing any boxing whatsoever. The bell ends for the first round. Julian goes back to his corner with his arms raised up in victory, like, yeah, I got that round. Mike McCallum went back and sat down, and whatever his dream team of coaches told him in the corner, when he came back out for the second round, I noticed something straight off the bat, Junior. Do you know what it was?
What was it?
When Mike McCallum, when the bell rang for the second round, remember I told you in the first round, Julian jumped out there at him and threw a big right hand trying to knock his head off, right? He went to the center of the ring and he stood in his position, but his rear foot was positioned like a sprinter. Do you know what that means?
It means he's about to explode.
That means that he's standing his ground. He positioned himself to stand his ground. And as Julian once again was whiffing shots, because all Mike had to do was pull back a little bit, lean, slide around, put his guard up. But each time Julian did something, boom, boom, boom to the body. Hard shots. He was dropping them, boom. Then he would come over the top with something, boom, boom. And the fight began to change within the first, I want to say 45 to 50 seconds of that round. Next thing you know, Julian started backing up a little bit and Mike started coming on. Mike dropped him. He got up. I think that was the first time Julian had been dropped in his career. He got up and they got back into the mix, but Julian's disposition changed and Mike took off on him and ended up unanswered punches with him up against the ropes, holding his guard up, and the referee jumped in and waved the fight off. But what was exciting was here you had a veteran fighter in McCallum. He was just a few years older than Julian Jackson, I think a couple years, because at that time Julian was 25.
Okay.
And McCallum had to be 28, 29, something like that, Anyway, what I noticed was that McCallum took care of business, but it was almost like he had seen the best of what this kid has to offer. So what he did was close the window of where their abilities were. He was a much sharper boxer and puncher. He was a acute body puncher, and he could see everything that Julian was doing. That's ring IQ, all of those 5 dimensions that I talk about in a fighter. Mike McCallum showed it to him in not 2 rounds, but 1.5 rounds. This is why I try to tell people to watch boxing, because this is something that it'll give you an idea like, whoa, this is how it's done. And some people don't get that, bro. But it is a very, very acute thing. And it's like, and you know these things already because you play football. Only difference is that you had a team with different people with assignments, and everybody, in order for you to be successful, it required everybody to do their job. But the principles are the same. And the applications that the coaches try to put forward with you are the same. One of the reasons that Vince Lombardi's Green Bay teams were so successful, and he had only a handful of plays that he was running and everything, but they believed in what they did, and they had people who were willing to do the job. If you were not, you were off the team. And so when you got a bunch of guys dedicated to doing their job, think about it like the second Bulls team that went on that second three-peat, right? When they brought Dennis Rodman in, he served a couple of roles on that team. He was their dirty man, and he did the dirty work, but he gave Michael and Scotty free room to reign because all eyes were always on Dennis. And he got the rebounds that gave them the second chances that were not there before he got there. In other words, if Mike was having a bad shooting night, if Scotty was having a bad shooting night, it's like with Dennis on the court, who understood how to rebound because he studied rebounds. He understood and he talked about it. He was like, I look at how when a player shoots the ball, how the ball spins, and I can judge where it's coming off the rim. That's science, bro. That's science. That ain't just reacting. That's knowing you. Oh, that's Scotty, and he shoots like that. Usually his balls bounce like this. You already positioned into where you used to his balls coming off the rim, where other guys are just waiting for a rebound. You see what I'm saying? These are the kind of things. So you need a guy who can do that. They had Dennis guarding Shaq. You see what I'm saying? These are the kind of things, a player that you could plug into a role and he can get the job done. In boxing, it's only you, which is why you need to be more than a 1 or 2 dimensional fighter. A 3-dimensional fighter can be very successful in boxing. A 5-dimensional fighter is the best. It's that simple.
And you have to be, in my opinion, with boxing, you have to be a student of the game.
Yes.
Like the best, like when we talk about the best, they're students of the game, bro.
Right.
You have to be a student of the game.
Yeah.
And how do you get to be a student of the game? Somebody has to put that in you.
Yep.
Somebody has to put that in you. And that's why we see these fighters who are good, and they might be world champions and whatever the case may be, but they can never rival the greats because they're not students of the game, because nobody put that in them, bro.
Right.
And that's the difference. You understand what I'm saying? When you're talking about, Floyd, you know what I'm saying? When you're talking about Roy, when you're talking about Andre Ward, when you're talking about Bud Crawford, somebody put that in them. Somebody put that in them. And it has to be put in there. You have to be a student of the game. When you talk to, and I know, like when you talk about, Tank Davis, for instance, and somebody brings up Marvin Hagler, and he doesn't know who Marvin Hagler is, oh man, I go ahead on to cancel Christmas. You can never be one of the greats. Never. You're not a student of the game.
Yeah.
And that's all sports. Students of the legends are students of the game.
There you go. Because they have to look at what their shortcomings are, and they study what came before and what was successful about what came before, and they're smart enough to take a little bit of some of that and incorporate it into what they do.
Yep.
And for fighters that think that they can only write their own ticket, that's a short trip. Because it's like we're talking about a sport that goes 200 years before you arrived on the scene. 200. There ain't been no 200 years of basketball or football or baseball. But boxing has been over 200 years. And guess what? It's really even more than that, because men have been fighting since they've been on this earth. And Cain and Abel spilled blood, huh? Yeah. This is wisdom.
Documented.
This is wisdom.
Documented. Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, do you know boxing is in the Bible?
Where is it at in the Bible? Do you know?
When we get off there, I'll look it up for you. But it's like, yeah, I was surprised. I was like, because they were talking about men of their trade, and they mentioned boxing. I was like, holy smoke, boxing is in the Bible.
Yeah, it's primitive. It is the most primitive sport there is. There's no sport that's more primitive than boxing, bro. None.
As what I say, it goes back to the test of time with man having conflict with one another.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And making a sport of it. Making a sport of it. Yeah. So there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, man. I said the best and the legends and those generational, talents that we have, they are stewards of the game. And I can tell, I'm telling you, man, that's how I know what I know about these kids. And a lot of them I love them, I like them, and so on and so forth. But you're not a student of the game. You're not a student of the game. You see what I'm saying? Like kids are, it's just simple stuff. Like people just not, I don't know, man, no one just don't even have the desire to know. You see what I'm saying? Like, just don't have the desire to know about the sport or to learn or to be taught and so on and so forth. There's only so far that you can go. You know what I mean? And of course, you're going to be, have people who are talented, kids that are gifted, strong, fast, so on and so forth. But it fizzles out. It fizzles out at a point. You know what I mean? But all right, bro.
Hold on. I found it for you.
Go ahead.
It's Corinthians 9:26 through 27. It's the Apostle Paul talking about boxing. He says, "Therefore I do not run aimlessly. I do not box as one beating the air. No, I discipline my body and make it my slave, so that after I have preached to others, I myself will not be disqualified." You see that?
Ooh. Yeah, that's cold. That's cold.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I'm going to look at that's cold.
And
that's
thanks to Isaiah GQ, who also put it in the chat, the scripture, 1 Corinthians 9:26 through 27. Yeah. But see, I told you, I read that in there. It's like, man, that just for my beloved sport, and to have that in the Bible as well, that means we're on the right track.
Yeah.
Cause it's an ongoing battle daily, spiritual warfare. Shoot, man. Isn't that something? And this is Sunday. So you got a little bit of a Bible verse in there on a Sunday too. And I'm not mocking. I'm just celebrating the fact that see how things come together? Shh, man.
Yeah, that's a bar. That's a bar. Universal truth. The brother said they don't have the attention span. Well, they don't have the attention span, bro, because the attention span is not required any longer. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's not required. And that's once again, somebody has to put that in them. You understand what I'm saying? Like somebody has to put that in them. Yeah. Because it's like, I know for me, Stormy, and I'm going to say this, I know you can appreciate this, and then I got to go. But like, we go places all the time. Like we just had basketball games this weekend. And so when you had the basketball games, you got kids up and running and jumping and, bumping all into people and doing all kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then when you see my children, you know where my children are? They're sitting down.
Sitting down observing, yeah.
They're sitting down watching the game. Sitting down watching the games. And everybody's like, man, your kids are so well behaved and, so on and so forth. And my kids have the attention span of the gnat. That says something about you and the way that you're raising them. My children don't have a choice. Somebody has to put that in them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It has to be put in them. So these fighters and these athletes and whatnot, not having the attention span to actually be a student of their respective sport, it has to be put in them, bro. And that really says something about you. Like I know for me, as a defensive lineman, for me, I shared this with you, bro. But I can't tell you how much film I watched on Reggie White, Richard Dent, Warren Sapp, my dude Langford from Florida State. I've watched countless hours, literally hours of Ed Too Tall Jones. You know what I'm saying? I've watched countless hours of film on defensive line. My life, even now, I'll walk around, bro, and I still do defensive line moves. You know what I'm saying? I'll walk past my wife and I'll tap and swimmer. You know what I'm saying? All different rip. Or when I turn corners, man, I've watched countless hours of film on defensive linemen, bro. And I can't, you know what I'm saying? For me, you have to be a student of the game, bro. Whatever your respective field is, you have to be a student of it. And this is a life lesson, not just, and it really foregoes sport. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that you do for a living, bro, or whatever it is that you're into, like, don't do it haphazardly. Like, don't just play around with it haphazardly. Like, engulf yourself in it, bro. Like, engulf yourself. If you don't watch boxing, don't you want to be able to have conversations that are deeper than the surface? Don't you want to be able to talk about more than just Tank Davis? You understand what I'm saying? Don't you want to be able to talk more? Don't you want to be able to go back and when Stormy talks about the Hawk, you can go and say, oh yeah. He talks about Julius Jackson, and you can say, oh yeah, Julius Jackson, and you can say, oh yeah, I know the Hawk. I remember him, dark skin, flat top. For those y'all who wonder, he still got the same haircut.
Yeah.
You feel me? I just saw this video at a fight. He still got the same hair. You see what I'm saying?
It's all gray now, too.
Yeah. And he walking around, and people don't even know who he is, bro. And I'm sitting there like, hey, what's up, legend? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not a dude that's gonna take pictures or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
I'll just say salute to you, legend. I appreciate you. You know what I mean? And that be that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, like, man, this is a lot, man. Anything that you're going to spend your time with, don't do it haphazardly. Man, I'm about to get in trouble, so my wife calling me and everything, bro. I'll get back with you later on, bro.
All right, brother. I appreciate you, Junior.
Talk, bro.
Have a great Sunday,
Yes,
bro.
Sir.
Later.
Yes, sir. You too, bro.
All right. What a great call by Junior the Truth, man. That's what's up. But see, that's what the show is all about. That's why we do what we do here, man. That's why we do what we do. Man, that was great. Salute everybody. Put the boogie woogie back on. Yeah. So we got about 22 minutes left in the show. Anybody else want to call? The lines are open. You know, I wasn't on last week, but to talk about these two guys that fought last week, Cabiel and Naiba. Listen, Adji Cabiel is the top heavyweight in the world to me right now. The uncrowned champion. You put him in there against Alexander Usyk, he probably knocks Usyk out late. Usyk will probably get the early rounds and everything, but I see Cabiel stopping him. That awesome body attack he has, Usyk won't get through that. I don't think they'll ever fight, though. I think they actually have friends or something. And, you know, friends of today, they don't fight each other. Oh, whatever that's all about. Go figure. But, yeah, he had a great fight. And, of course, last week we got the huge upset in Subriel Matias losing to Dalton Smith, a fight that I kind of saw happening. The result, I kind of saw that taking place. But great stuff, man. Boxing is in good hands. Boxing is in good hands. Yeah. But that's what's up, family. That's what's up. I think I saw Coach Hudson out there in the chat. What's good, Coach Hudson? Happy Sunday to you. My man Antonio MMA is out there. Appreciate you stopping in. We have straight to the point sports and entertainment. First time me seeing you out there. Salute to you coming into the building. BVO is in the building. What's happening, BVO? Black Jericho. Think I got you earlier. Yeah. Who else we got? Forged. Y2 is in the building. Salute. Yeah. A nice round of people in the building this morning. That's what's up. Yeah, buddy. Okay, we got 408 calling. Who's calling? What's on your mind? Welcome to the show.
What's up, Stormy? This Townsend. What's good with you?
Yo, what's good with you, brother? I'm fine. How are you this morning?
I'm pretty good, you know. So I'm just checking in on you, see how the OG doing. Happy New Year to you. And my dad say Happy 4th of June Easter. And, you know.
Same to you guys, man. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Happy New Year as well, man. You know, out here just, you know, doing what I do. I'm on my grind. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. You're on your grind, and you definitely need it in the community, brother. You know, so I want to make sure that you know that you definitely need it and cherish. You know, it's hard to find and to have solid OGs and elders, you know, not only can teach you the game, but also can keep you grounded and also can, you know, can celebrate you and also can give you a kick in the behind when you need it. So
yeah,
definitely need it and cherish, brother. So.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, some people in this time that we're in, they've had no boundaries, no disciplines, and so they kind of roaming out in the world, and when they run into something where there's a wall or something that says "Hold, slow down" or "Stop" or whatever, they question it. They like, why can't I do my thing, you know? And it's like, no, that's something that if you didn't get it where you came from, the world is going to show it to you in a manner that is not so friendly and loving.
Oh yeah.
And that's therefore you find a lot of young folk with they are resentful because of disciplines and things of that nature, but it doesn't do anything at the core but make you a better person overall if you're able to adopt the principles of why it transpires in the first place. But, you know, again, that's why I have this, you know, no tolerance for when these guys try to come in here to my chat and everything. Dude, that's not what this is all about over here. Right. They used to tell you coming up that you don't yell fire in an auditorium, huh?
Right.
Well, especially if it's not a fire, you don't just say it because you can speak the words. You know what I'm saying? So it's like some people don't understand that, and they have to be shown it. Sometimes in a very harshly disciplined manner, other times in a manner that where there's rejection, huh? And where you be excavated, huh? Because it's like, again, there's a place and time for everything. If you notice, even in our churches now, that they've kind of let the rules go and people can literally come as they are, huh? Meaning like a woman can come dressed like a lady of the night, or if like she getting ready to go get on the stripper's pole, huh? And a dude could come in with very casual, and sometimes with his Nikes on and sweats and all of that. It's like, whoa.
Sweatsuit and a do-rag.
Listen, when it says come as you are, that don't mean dressed as you are. That means as you are as a person that needs to receive some cleansing of your spiritual self. Huh? And it's like, that kind of thing. But just like you don't go show up in court with a t-shirt on and some cut off shorts. Huh? The judge gonna be like, oh yeah, he's guilty.
They're like, okay, you want some time? Well, no problem. No problem, I got you.
Yeah, because he didn't even respect the fact that this is a place of order, huh? So it's like, but people have to be shown, and it happens all the time. And here, I carry that out in my own way on the air and everything, but it's like, it's a message that some people understand and get it, like yourself. You spoke of it, and then, as I've been known to say, everybody ain't gonna make it, huh?
Right.
So,
right.
That's what it is.
I mean, like, too, regarding like order and structure, I worked in juvenile probation for like 7 to 8 years.
Okay.
So what I worked at was on the program that I was in. I was considered a probation counselor. So it was a court-ordered, court-mandated program. So these are for people who are like, I would say clients, who are on like their last leg. The judge like, all right, I'm going to send you here. If you don't get right, next time I see you, I'm going to charge you as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
So it's anything ranging from 13 to 18. So all the offenders in there are clients. They range anywhere from sexual assault, gang violence, attempted murder, some in case have murdered, drug possession, whatever. Domestic violence, I've seen it all. So we're able to run lawlessly in the streets because there was no structure at home. So
right.
They were able to do whatever they want, come and go as they please. Their mom may be a prostitute, or their father is a high-ranking gang member and he's in prison. So you got grandmother raising 7 kids, and she's 67, 70 years old. So the kids run lawlessly with no structure and no guidance. And the only guidance they have is, what they see in their community.
Right.
So by the time they come see me, they've been in and out of juvenile hall. Their mentality is, even though there are juveniles, between 13 to 18, their mentality is of a 3rd and 4th grader, because they have not been able to process and adapt and evolve, in a manner that allows them to grow up.
Right.
So when they see me, they have a hard time ordering a smoothie off a menu because of their literacy, and they're unable to, been able to be in a setting to where you can learn. So when I say, hey, go ahead and get something to drink. I'm like, start talking like Tank Davis. I'm not saying it as a joke, but
right.
That's pretty much, where a lot of youth is.
Right.
So when I see what Tank is going through, I recognize that 'cause I've seen that for 6 to 7 years. When you have adolescents who are not held accountable, you have adolescents who are around the neighborhood, whether it's the homies in the hood or whether it's, your actual parents, who are adolescent minded as well, then you're going to be stuck in a place where there's no progress and no growth. So, but the thing is, when they get into the system, the system has a way of disciplining you. You can rebel as many times as you want. You can't rebel for long, because either the judge going to discipline you, the juvenile hall going to discipline you, or I'm going to discipline you if I have to restrain you and throw you on the floor.
Right.
So sometimes, people have to learn things the hard way, and it's important to learn things the hard way earlier on, and then, instead of when they get older. Because when you get older, the consequences are way worse than where you're a juvenile. Case in point, like a Tank Davis. I've had many juveniles in my care who were in there for domestic violence. Whether for one instance, this kid, he beat a girl up so bad she ended up in the hospital. And then so then she was in there for like 3 or 4 days. And then when the lady got released, her mom picked her up and took her home. This juvenile followed the mom and his girlfriend at the time to their house, like stalking and following them. And then he rang the doorbell. When the mom rang the doorbell, he ended up stabbing the mom.
Oh man!
Because he was just so out of control and so out of bounds and going without repercussions. So then, finally get arrested. Now they come see me. Now my job is to quote unquote rehabilitate you. But by then it's almost too late because your psyche is so warped and so far gone that nobody can tell you anything.
Right.
So again, that's the case in point with like a Tank Davis. His mind is to the point to where he's been able to get away with whatever he wants for so long. He grew up with, even though he had guidance from his coach, he didn't have that stronghold, disciplined father figure that can help him grow up to where he can be a full-grown man. And then you get somebody where he's around like an Adrian Broner. You get somebody where you're around like a Floyd Mayweather, who they have their own demons and own issues that not only might have trickled down to Tank, but have emboldened him to say, well, I can do these things because my OG did it, and they got money, I got money, so now I can just get away with anything I want.
Right.
And nobody's going to tell me no, because I can just give them a handful of money, and I'm Tank Davis. I'm the best fighter in the world. Yeah, that's cool to a certain point, because the world has a way of moving things back around to making it where you will be humbled and you have to be accountable for your actions. Every dog has his day. That's not just a cliche saying, that's the truth. So that's why you have to where now you have a guy who is on the run being thought about a U.S. Marshal because he's never been held accountable his whole life. So now the judge and now the U.S. Marshals are going to have to hold him accountable and discipline him to where he's going to have to either grow up or, there are things that...
Has he turned himself in yet?
Even worse.
Has he turned himself in? Oh, he's still on the run? Oh, man, this is not going to... You know what? And I understand they're giving him a little leeway. But if he think that they can't come and get him...
What Steve Harvey saying in the Kings of Comedy? When we talking about Ray Caruth, boy, you know who's looking for you? The FBI. You know what I mean? You can't hide no trunk and no car. So, you have to definitely give him leeway, but, it's just the actual mindset of, the adolescent mindset. Tank Davis is a full-grown man, but he has the adolescent mindset of a child, and I've seen that for 7 years.
It's not going to end well, bro.
The only way that can be changed, unfortunately, you're going to have to hit rock bottom. Unfortunately, you're going to have to go through counseling, and you're going to have to consistently go through counseling, and you're just going to have to want to make that change for yourself. But, it's, long story short, is just that as men, it's something that always kind of bothers me. As men, you got to stop looking at people who've had opportunities and had chances and constantly feeling sorry for them, constantly praying for them and wanting to wish them well, because a lot of these people, they've had childhood trauma. I've had childhood trauma, but I've not made that as an excuse for me to constantly make mistakes in my life. For me to evolve as a man, I've had to hold myself accountable, and I have to be responsible in wanting to be a full-grown man. So we have to start putting our energy towards, instead of praying for people who are constantly not wanting to mature, to actually to the ones who are doing right. We have to constantly pray for them, because we live in a society to where you're being rewarded for being a misfit.
Yeah.
It's hard, but, we want, we all want to be, what happened to the old days and, and wanting to be a gentleman. Nowadays, you're not rewarded for being a gentleman, you're rewarded for being a fool. Hence why you got folks on YouTube and social media doing, bucking their eyes and looking a certain kind of way, or doing, wanting to go viral by doing crazy stuff. You got folks slapping their parents and throwing it on social media trying to go viral. So we have to start actually putting positive energy instead of having rehabilitation prayers for folks who've had opportunities. We have to put positive prayers for folks who are doing things the right way to encourage them to keep going, because it's not easy.
Right.
You know, I mentor quite a bit of juveniles who are doing things the right way, and they have a hard time because they're doing things the right way, but they're not getting no support because everybody's focusing on the misfit.
Right.
And there's only a handful of them who is getting the love and care of the village. Meanwhile, the person doing it the right way, that's James. James is gonna do it. James is fine. He's good. James is fine. We ain't gotta worry about him. When actually you need to worry about James, because James is going through it, because you got the peer pressure of the world, the peer pressure at school, the peer pressure amongst your friends, and and it's just hard trying to do the right thing. You know, like perfect example is like a Myron Rose.
Hey Joe, keep talking. I gotta do something right here in the backdrop, but just keep talking. I'm listening.
No, you good. So you got a perfect example like a Myron Rose, who ended up becoming a Rose Scholar. Even though Cecil Rose is a piece of crap himself, if you research his history, being a Rose Scholar is the highest esteemed thing. You know, so Myron Rose played football and he was a brainy cat. He played football at Florida State. When all his friends or all his teammates, I've been a college athlete, living the party lifestyle, partying and messing with girls and whatnot. Myron Rose was instead studying to be a Rhodes Scholar. And his teammates, they encouraged him to come out. They encouraged him to party and drink. They said, Myron, you need to focus on your education. Don't be out here with us. Keep doing what you're doing, because the path that you on is greater than any one of us. So then the team pretty much protected him from Myron Rose could have easily lost his way in college by getting into the lifestyle. You're at Florida State. You got a lot of beautiful women out there. You in Florida. You're a high-profile athlete. It's easy to get lumped up into the gunk of life. But instead, his teammates shielded him and kept him clean to where now he is a successful brain surgeon that he is today. So I go that to say, when we have folks who are doing the right things, we should stop saying, they're going to be fine. We need to shield them, because the world is treacherous. You got, all you need is just one slip up, and, the pathway that you're on, you can get knocked off and hard to get recoursed and recalibrated back to what you're trying to do. So I just encourage everybody to, let's stop making excuses for folks who don't want to do the right thing. Let's start encouraging and putting positive energy and blessings and prayers towards people who are doing the right thing and living the right way. Because we all said how come we don't have no positive examples in our community? When we do have positive examples, y'all don't care about them and don't even highlight them. Instead, we highlight the misfits. We highlight the folks who have 3 or 4 baby daddies. We highlight the folks who are twerking and shaking. We don't highlight the folks who are 14 years old and got their pilot license, and then now they traveling the world. Or this person at 18 developed this app that's going to help heal the world. We don't celebrate that kind of thing. So I just encourage folks to stop praying for guys like AB, whether it's Antonio Brown or Adrian Broner. And the excuse of childhood trauma, that don't work on me, because we all got trauma. I got childhood trauma myself, but I never used that to where I didn't become the man that I am today. So yes, it's important to have structure. Yes, it's important to have mentors and have guidance to help you go through life. But at some point, either you have to be accountable for your actions, or the government or your local police department will make you accountable for your actions, and that's the last thing that you want. The last thing that you want as a man is to see your face on the news and the U.S. Marshals is looking for you. When you got to that point, you're at the point to where it's hard to turn back from that. It's hard to do. That's a hard 180 to do. So I encourage everybody to just, let the folks who are pushing our excellence forward, they need more help and support than the ones who are living the lifestyle of adolescence and being a misfit. So yeah, that's all I got for me. Stormy still working. I'm not looking at the chat. I don't know what y'all saying, but yeah, I'm just I just kind of something that's been on my heart for a while. We have too many folks in our community who are doing the right things and they're just not being highlighted and not being celebrated or appreciated. So I wanted to kind of put our attention more on that than just celebrating folks who are doing dumb stuff, because they'll easily show us all remember when the Popeyes chicken sandwich came out? They're showing all the black folks in line acting a fool. They'll highlight that all day long all over the news. But they're not going to highlight, the excellence in our community. So we need to highlight the excellence in our community, because, the ones growing up doing the right thing, they need an example for them to keep doing the right thing. If you have a 4.0 GPA, you're doing this and doing that, but they only show you the ones who are acting a fool in the street, what is your purpose and what is your reasoning for keeping them go forward? Of course, your nucleus, your family is supposed to catapult you into that position, but sometimes you need some external encouragement as well. So that goes a long way, especially when you have a young girl in your mind. So yeah, there's something for everybody to think about. But
no, you raised some great points there, man. And I like what you were saying because see your experience from that other side, of when people have to deal with the reality of things and are forced to have to deal with. And sometimes, as you said, like by the time you get them, it's almost too late, because but we're all voices of reason and are very sorely needed out here, which is one of the reasons. I mean, I can come out with my platform and I like to, crack a joke here and there and keep things loose, but I don't play with the circumstances, and there's no welcomed haven for people to come here and not be serious about what we're doing here, because you allow that kind of stuff in and then everything else comes in with it. That wall and line of discipline is so important, and we've erased it in our community to a degree that it has become a detriment. So, as you said, people.
There ain't no shame no more.
Yeah, absolutely.
I used to worry about shaming not only my father but my family's name.
Yes.
Cause my family's name hold weight in my city. Everybody knows who my family is and whatnot. So I will purposely like, all right, maybe I shouldn't do this. I don't want to end up on the news and then have to shame my father or my family's name. They ain't like that no more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody's shameless now. Everybody's trying to go viral. Everybody's trying to get attention. They're trying to get attention on social media that they're not getting at home. Which is why you have this boisterous of acting out and wanting to impress somebody, whether it's by acting a fool or by just illegally doing something. So
yeah. Well, you know what? I'll tell you something, man. I know you're a busy guy too, but when I do this call-in show, man, you are more than welcome to come in and shed some light and some even life experience on things as we open up, the platform for conversation, because voices like yours need to be heard too. The things that you're able to share and how you're able to convey, because like I said before, you're seeing it from a different side as well, and people need to know how serious it is. All of us have gifts, talents, and abilities, and all we need is that proper direction and path to get on so that we can allow that thing to go forward. I do what I do, but and I know I have a space, and I'm more than willing to operate within that space. There are some people who think things are supposed to be, hey, listen, life is tough and hard, but the thing is that it's that way for a reason, but to be able to pick out the sweetness of life and what's gratifying within the life experience. That's what we work toward. That's what the goals are. If it was so easy to do or to live and exist, we wouldn't appreciate it.
Right.
We wouldn't. So that's why you have to have what I call an equilibrium, the yin and the yang aspects of things. It's not always going to be sunny. It won't always rain. It won't always be cold. And if you live the wrong kind of life, where you go is always going to be hot. You understand? So it's like, so I'm going to tell it like it is. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you said something earlier. No, you gotta have that moral compass, and you also gotta have that spirituality.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter what discipline you follow, whether you're Buddhist or Christian or Islam or whatever. Every religion is it can be very strict if you follow it properly. You know, like perfect example is our brother BFTB. He said when he started becoming a Muslim, you know, it changed him and he started becoming more disciplined. You know, so that's another thing that we don't have is, you know, no matter which religious belief is, you know, we all need to follow under the law of God.
Right.
Whether it's Allah, whether it's the universe, whether it's Jesus Christ, whatever you believe in. You know, you have to have some kind of order of universal law that you need to follow. And if you don't have that, then you're constantly running lawless in the world. Without universal law, you're gonna run lawless in the world, and the world is undefeated. It's gonna chew you up and spit you out because there's somebody born every single day. So, you know, so it's important to have not only that moral compass that you know the definition of between right and wrong, a hard compass between what's right and wrong. So if you don't have a moral compass, then you just blowing with the wind. That's why you have folks out there who 1 minute they bisexual, next minute they straight. You have no moral compass. And then the next minute you are, you know, you want to be a man, next minute you're a woman. Because you have no moral compass, not a hard yes or a no.
Yeah.
So it's important, like I said, to have the yin and the yang so you can create the ultimate and the most developed person that you want to be. You know, everybody always asks me, like, what's like my New Year resolution? I always say to reach my maximum potential every single day. So,
yeah,
you know, as long as I can get 2% better each day, I want to reach my maximum potential. Kind of like, you know, I don't think you play video games, Stormy, but like you play like Madden, you have like a Madden rating.
Yeah.
Right there. Strength is like from like 0 to 100. Your strength is at 90. Your ability is at 86. Your speed is at 75. I want to get all my attributes. I want to get all my abilities to a 99 at some point. So that's what I focus on, reaching my full potential. You know, so. And to do that, I have to equip myself with good spirituality, a good moral compass, and a good work ethic. You know, so. You know, so there's a lot of entitlement going on in the world. You know?
Yes. Yes, absolutely, man. That's what's up. So, but yeah, I'd love to have you come back and talk with me some more, man. You know, in fact,
absolutely.
In fact, you know, now that we, you know, Tuesday, I don't know if you were around, but Thursday night, I brought back Beats with Sugar. That's the music show, and I had Drew on there with me, and we rocked on Blue Eyed Soul. That was on Thursday night. So that may be a night where we will have future Beats with Sugar, which is a great show. If you didn't catch it, it was broadcast only on Rumble. So if you're not on Rumble, you could sign up for Rumble and just give me and Drew a follow over there, because what Rumble allows us to do is play our content and music and everything without copyright restrictions and stuff like that. So we're going to kind of gravitate our shows that have certain type of conversation over there as well, because there's no restrictions like what happens over here. So, you know, that's again, we were talking about going onward and upward and expounding. It's that type of thing that we need to do because this is the seriousness of it. As long as people can play around with your streams, cutting you off and, playing with your audio and stuff like what happens over here because you got somebody sitting back in their feelings about this. It's not even that you're doing any violations. It's just that they're doing it because they could do it to you. You know what I'm saying? This is why we're reaching out to these other platforms and everything where we can do what we do best.
Well, Storm, if you want to alleviate them doing that to you, all you got to do is wear a taco hat and bust your eyes, and your stream going to be perfect.
Yeah. I'll tell you something. Well,
nobody cutting you off. Get you a raccoon hat, put it on your head, and say, look at the camera and go, every day, you be good.
Listen, that's something I can't do, brother. Hey, listen, I wouldn't do it even before machine gun fire. You understand? So to paraquote Ali.
Come on live every day and go, live with the Stormybman, man. Hey, you'll be fine. Stream's gonna be perfect.
Man, let me tell you something, bro. Pull the plug now. That's all I can say. Hey, cause that ain't happening. You know that.
Y'all not here.
Man. Dude, I was laughing with the brothers behind the scenes, and I say, all you gotta do is give me some armaments, and I can solve all that in about 25 minutes.
Hey, ain't that the truth?
25 minutes, and I ain't even gonna take no break. You understand?
Roll straight through.
Going straight through. I'm willing to do overtime. So it's like, man, but no siree. And it's funny because there are those of us who think that might be the way to go. Yeah. But you lose so much. You lose so much of self. You lose so much of dignity. You lose so much of respect. You lose so much of community. You lose so much of humanity when you allow that. People aren't learning what's happening in Hollywood. Public Enemy had a song called Burn, Hollywood, Burn. Huh?
Yeah.
And that song was really interesting because all you got to do is listen to the lyrics. Chuck D put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. That night he went to sleep, and in the morning all he had was sneakers on his feet. Huh? Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
No Epstein over here. No Epstein.
No Epstein.
No Oscar De La Hoya. You know what I mean? So no Oscar.
Man, boy, I tell you, man, it's like, but you know what? Again, with brothers like yourself, Drew Jr. called in earlier. This is why I have this show, so that we can have the real conversations. It doesn't always have to be just boxing, because boxing is really a microcosm of real life, and life imitates boxing, vice versa. But conversations do need to be had, and I'm more than willing to do my part into ensuring that process takes place. That's why I'm here, man. That's why I'm here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One day it'll be great to have a discussion on the mental fortitude of a fighter. I don't know if you had that show yet, but just the mental fortitude you have to not only go through ups and downs, but push forward to be a champion.
Oh, of course. I've had that. Yeah. That's what my Tuesday tussle. Listen, that was an episode on my Tuesday tussle. I've done so many of them now because that's the one subject show that I have. I never I never numbered them, so I don't even know what number
Okay.
I'm on with my Tuesday tussles, and that's probably why I can't just pick out which show it was.
For
But
sure.
the titles, if you go into my archive and look into my library for my Tuesday tussles, because they're all available, I talk about that, and I'm very direct with the subjects are on the Tuesday tussle because it's always something to do with how that works within boxing and how it also works within real life.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah,
take
me.
it back and forth between the
I,
two.
yeah, I attribute a lot of my success to me having the mental fortitude and the discipline of me playing sports. I played football from high school, junior college, and also, as I say, a cup of coffee in the NFL. So, that discipline, I transitioned and carried it into the workforce, and it's been beneficial to me and also in my life. So when you've had to get up at 5:30 in the morning to 6 a.m. workouts for 15 years of your life, you understand the importance of hard work and the importance of consistency.
Mm-hmm.
So like Junior can tell you when you're playing sports, for example, like let's say we got done doing a 6 a.m. run, and you got some people who are lacking. There is no coddling involved. There is no, oh man, you gotta do better tomorrow. Come on, man, you can do better. The coach is cussing you out in front of everybody. You got 90 folks. On the college team, you have anything between 70 to 100 players on the team. That's including the scholarship guys and walk-ons. The coach
Right.
will say, man, you suck today. You mother. Man, I don't know why you even here. I should take your scholarship and give it to the walk-on. It look like you don't want to be here. You're going to have to show me something in front of everybody. What you going to do?
Yep.
You going to cuss the coach out? You going to rage out and say, F you too? If you do that, you going to be gone tomorrow. You
Yep.
cuss out the coach, you go to your locker, it's your nameplate going to be gone.
Yeah.
Stormy, I'll never forget, and we had a team meeting in college. We had a team meeting,
Uh-huh.
and the head coach, he passed away now. Rest in peace, Coach Crackthorpe. He was talking to this player real rough. His brother, he was actually from Florida. He was a running back. He talking to him real rough. Hey man, you got to do this and this. And the player stood up and said, excuse my language. He said, man, F you, cracker, real loud in front of everybody. Man, we got the coaching staff in there, the players, the trainers. F you, cracker. And then walked out the room. Oh man, the coach was so hot. The coach was cussing them out up and down the hallway. But guess what? That same player who said that, I ain't see him the next day, Stormy. His locker was cleaned out. No cleat, no short, no nothing. Cleaned out.
Yep.
And that's just a microcosm of how life really is.
That's
so,
what it is. What it is. That's the way. And
yeah.
and that's like even around here, around these parts. If I can't get people to focus up or whatever, it's one or two things. I either throw folks out or I shut it down, and I come back another day. You know what I mean? And that's to send a message, because I've always got something to do. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
But I don't play when it comes to this. If people knew my passion or could actually feel what it is that for what I do here, they would respect it a whole great deal more, man. Because you're not going to find a more focused person coming into this and doing what I do.
Right.
I'm not on here for popularity. I'm not on here to make the money. I'm on here to put that quality of what isn't out there. And you can always take something that I've done and plug it into a gap somewhere because there's a space for it. And see, I recognize that this is international. It's not local. This is international. So I'm reaching people that I'll never meet in life. And there's someone somewhere that I'm speaking directly to that is going to move and motivate them in a manner that is just missing from elsewhere. And as long as I can carry the understanding of that, I will not fail, because God put me here. God put me here. I didn't come here on my own accord. Do you know that there was a time when I was talking with people in my personal life and they were telling me, several different people of different walks of life, you should write a book. I started putting down some notes for a book.
Mm-hmm.
When I found my way to the airwaves of doing this, then I realized the book is not necessary.
Right.
Because this is an open book. And as I've spoken about it so many times, everybody ain't going to make it. Just like when you put a book on the shelf, everybody's not going to read it. But you come across me here, I'm going to reach somebody here that a book would have never had a chance to touch. Do you understand?
Ain't that the truth? Everybody ain't going to make it.
So that's what's up, Joe, man. That's what's up with Stormy.
Yeah, no, that's the truth. I mean, everybody ain't going to make it. Everybody's not meant to make it, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to make sure that you and your ones are the ones that's going to make it. Because everybody loves to say they a lion and they a king and this is my kingdom. Well, guess what? Every kingdom has to go down. Every lion's going to have an opposition. Somebody's going to try to rule their kingdom. And guess what? Not every lion wins. If you lose your kingdom, if a dominant lion come and take your tribe away from you, you exile from your kingdom. Your sons is slaughtered right in front of you or right in front of their mother, and the new king is going to come and procreate and have his reign of dominion. Everybody loves to say they're lion, but that's the real life of a lion in the real kingdom, in the real world. It's cruel and treacherous, and at times don't nobody care. That lion who got exiled and lost his dominion over his kingdom and had to see his young cubs get killed, only he can do is take that walk of shame, of loneliness, and of defeat. And that's pretty much the totality of life right there. Are you going to walk in exile with your head held down, or are you going to try to hold your kingdom down at all costs?
Yeah. Well, final thoughts, bro, because I'm going to get ready to wrap it up. This is a football Sunday, so I'm going to get a chance to get some football in today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Final thoughts. As they tell Devin Haney, and then they post that video of Devin Haney, and Golden Boy put the video of Devin Haney supposedly being knocked down by Ryan Garcia. And I thought what they say we're never going to forget. I never going to forget that Canelo got dog walked by Crawford. I ain't going to forget that.
Not only that, but he put his foot so deep where it needed to be planted in Suleiman and then retired on him. Dude, that was the microphone drop of the generation right there.
I beat your king, and I ain't paying you nothing. And walk off. I ain't paying you, Nathaniel.
Boy.
Come pick up your king while I walk off with the trophies. And I ain't paying you nothing. I ain't paying no toll. I ain't paying no tithes. Suck it. Walk off. That's how you do it. And if you don't like it, come to Omaha, come holler at me. And Suleiman ain't going to do that.
Dude, I loved it. And I just hope that he's able to stay away and do what he wants to do with his life. And don't come back. Don't come back. Just do your thing. No need for that. You know? Great stuff.
Would you, all right, final thoughts on my bad. Mm-hmm. Would you rather see the brother Bud Crawford continue injecting his knowledge as a trainer, or probably see him as a promoter?
Neither.
Because everybody thought that Floyd was supposed to be that, everybody, like, oh, Floyd got the light. Everybody was signing to Floyd. I think the Bud has a promotional company. Everybody gonna want to sign the Bud, but in your personal opinion and professional opinion, what would you think he would, where he's needed at?
Neither.
Neither. Okay.
Neither. No, let me tell you where he would be needed at. In helping cultivate these men to do something with their lives outside of the sport. To take their finances and invest them as he has done. Not to do what he's done, but to exercise options for the individual. What may be their best path. That would be another mic drop for a generation. Because he's a successful businessman, and he could be a model for that for other people in a sport where you got to really literally lay your ass on the line to be able to do something for your family. That would be what I want to see. But no, as far as in the sport, no, nah.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
All right, OG. I appreciate your time, appreciate your platform. We're going to rap again for sure.
All right, man. You take it easy. Enjoy your day. I don't know if you're going to be tuned in to football, but if you are, I hope that you're able to enjoy your day to the fullest. It's cold as heck here in the Chi, bro. It's cold, man.
Right. You're a Bears fan. Okay, that's right.
Well, you know what? I used to be a Bears fan. I stopped watching the Bears about 10 years ago, really. But I'm only watching now because there's some motion, but I'm not in it like go Bears. I'm not that. But
you ain't got your bear claws on.
Nah, none of that, bro. No, because you know what? They like the Chicago Bulls. They lost me, and they lost me by the stupid decisions that they made and everything. Like when Tom Thibodeau was coaching the Bulls. And he kept Derrick Rose out there on that court, and he blew his knee out, and he didn't even need to be on the court. I never got over that. Man. I stopped watching them after that. I can't tell you who's on the Bulls right now. I can't name one player. And like I said, the Bears, I just happened to tune in when they were on Hard Knocks last year. And I was like, oh, the Bears are on Hard Knocks? I've never seen the Bears on Hard Knocks. That's how I found out they had drafted a rookie quarterback and everything. I was like, I didn't know anything. And the couple of games that I did tune into last year, they lost. And this year they're playing better. They're winning games, pulling them out at the end and stuff. But I'm not bought in. I just watch it for it's because it's on TV. I don't care. If they lose today, if they win today, I don't care. I like my boxing. I love my boxing, and that's what I'm into. But the Bears and the Bulls, they've lost me forever, bro. They've lost me forever with their bullshit. So, but and that's fine. I'm not even crying sour grapes. I'm only explaining my position because I don't want people to get it twisted. It's like, oh, Stormy is a Bear fan. No, I used to be, but no more. I don't care. So
okay, that's good to hear. So now I know if the Bears win, you ain't gonna paint your fingernails like your quarterback.
No, none of that. None of that. No.
Hey, you wanna go viral, Stormy?
Listen, I told you I'd rather just lay back in the cut in the background. They ain't gonna see me.
The Bears won. Live painting fingernail session, Stormy. Yeah.
Nope. Listen, I tell you, man, if anything with me, wait a minute, let me see. This where my man Clay Davis said. I got Clay Davis on my soundboard. I'll be like, That ain't gonna be me. That ain't gonna be me.
G.
All right, man.
Day, man. We'll chop it up.
All right. Thanks for calling, bro. Have a great day, man.
You too, man. All right, peace.
Peace. Man, that was a great call by the brother Joe Townsend, man. Much respect. But yeah, we just about at the top of the hour. I went a little bit longer today, but that's all right because we had great conversation today. Great conversation. This is what the call-in show is all about, man. It's what it's all about. And to be able to come out here and give you guys this great content like this, we have a few people watching from the UK today. Much respect to you guys for tuning in. And I hope that we compelled you to come back and tune in for some more. I got some more for you if we get up. A lot of more, in the words of Clubber Lang, huh? But we gonna, get ready, get out of here. It's time for me to go, and I got some homemade chili cooking, man, and I gotta go and make sure that pot is good. That's why I asked Brother Joe to keep talking for a minute while I went to stir the pot. But that's what I'm gonna do. Enjoy my Sunday, and want to say shout out to the mighty LDBC, and we will catch you guys next week for another call in. Peace to everybody. I'm out.